if I had to learn how to code today in 2025, this is exactly how I would do it. So with the AI now playing an important role in our lives, I am so excited about the new possibilities of learning. This is something I'm already applying, and in this video we're going to talk exactly about that, how you can learn smart instead of learning hard. Hi, I'm Anto. I am a software engineer. I learned to code many years ago, and today I am focusing on supporting people in the software engineering industry that want to enter the industry or that want to improve or get better. So if you're interested, consider subscribing on this channel. If you're trying to become a software engineer, this video will give you a modern and clear strategy to do that. What we're going to cover are the following 4 things. So we're going to see what to learn and in what order. Then we're going to see how AI can help us learning in a smart way, and how we can use AI as a buddy, not as a shortcut. We are also going to make sure we use techniques to not forget what we are learning, and we're going to see how we can build projects and make ourselves visible to get hired immediately. So if you haven't seen my last video, you can find the link up here. In that video I talk about what are the fundamentals, and I start from algorithm and data structure, then I move to operating system, distributed systems, databases, and so on and so forth. So watch the video because I think it's going to give you an initial structure of a roadmap. The other thing I mentioned is learning to code, and my suggestion, it may be a little bit different from what you see mainstream. I can see lots of advice from different people saying, oh, start with Python. I think in my opinion, you should start with C, which is a simple language in terms of syntax, in terms of constructs, but it's very complex when you have to manage projects that are a little bit bigger. So you need to understand and build some sort of discipline in the way you write code, otherwise you're going to get lost very easily. So I think what C will give you is that discipline. It's probably not a language that you're going to use every day unless you go for specific engineering fields. But most of the time, I find myself going back to the knowledge and the examples of C in my mind when I'm using other languages, other higher level languages. My suggestion is always to start with something like C, understand, trying to implement data structures. That is really, really useful because you can touch things like memory directly instead of having abstractions that will remove the complexity but also impede you, stop you from understanding the mechanics of some of these extremely important elements. And this will come back especially when you have to do optimization. When you're learning data structures, if you learn them with a higher level language, you may miss some nuances. So that's why it's mandatory to start with C. Once you have that foundations laid down, you can move to a higher level language. You can choose your favorite language. My favorite language is Java, so I did C++, then moved to Java, and I am stuck with Java. I like the way Java works. Many people would disagree, and I also love Golang. Golang is much less verbose, and that is definitely a pro. So now, how you can learn these things if you don't know where to start? Today, what really excites me is the use of AI as a learning buddy. And what can you do with AI? You can essentially try to create a custom syllabus based not only on the subjects, but also on the way you learn. So in my example, I have ADHD. For me, the learning process is probably very different from everybody else. The way I have to learn is always have a good mix of hands-on and then theory. I really struggle to start with the theory first. So I need to be hands-on, get my hands dirty, then lots of questions will pop up in my head, and then at that point I will be super open and I will be able to absorb the theory. So this is exactly what you can do with AI. You can explain to AI what is the best way for you to learn. Once you explain that to AI, you can build the syllabus and the way you want to learn, also all the topics, in the perfect way for you. That will accelerate immensely your learning process. So my suggestion is you start with a simple prompt where you say, give me a roadmap for learning C. And then based on that roadmap, you can start saying, okay, give me a practical exercise first, if you are in my case, or whatever works for you, you can articulate that to the AI. And then the other suggestion is, don't use AI as your reference book. You have Google and you have real books for that, but use AI to give you pointers so you can quickly move from one thing to the other without having that understanding. I think the difference between learning by yourself and learning with someone, like that can be a university, a more academic journey, or using a tutor, using a private course, is exactly that. You need someone that tells you what you need to learn first and what you need to learn second. So you can do both ways. You can use AI, and that's my preference, but I also know lots of people that need a human being in the loop, so you can apply for courses, but try to do this exercise first to understand what courses you should apply first. And then at that point, everything will be much smoother and faster. The other thing I will do that I didn't do when I was at uni is to use techniques like spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is a technique that I learned recently and is used in AI. So essentially it's a very simple theory where they say you can learn and stuff will stick with you for longer if you repeat them at specific intervals. This is, for example, using flashcards or other things. So do a little bit of research. My suggestion is read what is spaced repetition and how you can apply to your learning. That will guarantee you that whatever you learn is never going to slip off your mind, and you can easily recall all this concept even after months if you do spaced repetition properly. The other thing that is absolutely essential, I didn't do any of this when I was at uni, is to show your work. It's a very short book. If you're interested, read this book, because it tells you why it's important to show your work to people, because most of the time we underestimate what we are doing, and lots of people are interested, and by showing your work you are going out on the public. People will see how you work, what are your efforts, and there are chances that you're gonna have more opportunities knocking at your doors simply because you're showing your work. So what do I mean with show your work in this context? Create your Git repo, put your projects live, ask questions publicly on forums, and learn from people. Don't be afraid to share your learning journey. We are all learning constantly. There is always someone that has more knowledge, and getting access to these people generally is expensive. But if you do publicly, you will be surprised how many people will support you, how many people will give you advice for free, and how many people will learn from you as well, because there are people that are learning and are probably early in the journey compared to you, and they will see you as a point of reference. So document your journey in every possible way, and you're not going to regret that. So what we have said so far is that you need to, one, create your syllabus and leverage all the tools that you have around you. So AI now is going to be a game changer for students. Use it in the right way. Use it as a learning buddy. Use to create your custom learning journey. Make sure you start from the fundamentals. Make sure you start from C. Again, my opinion, but trust me, is going to be a game changer. In many conversations, you are able to see things in a different way, especially when talking about data structures and other things. The other thing is apply techniques to make sure stuff that you're learning sticks with you. Spaced repetition is one of them. There are many others. Do some research before you start. Don't dive in directly into what you need to learn. Learn how to learn first, and then you start your journey. And finally, document everything. Document your journey, document your learning journey. Ask questions publicly, make sure people see you, see your efforts, and you're gonna get help, and you're gonna help people at the same time. So hopefully you like this video. Let me know if you have questions down in the comment. Here are other videos that you may find interesting, and if you like it, like, subscribe, and see you soon. Bye.